don't accept rides from people anymore. When I was 20, I worked at Walmart, and there was this 16-year-old boy who worked in the same department as me. One day, I was clocking out of my shift, and he walks up to me, and he's like, "Hey, yo, B, you need a ride, fam?" He was like one of those white boys who talks like Jack Harlow. And usually, I didn't like accepting rides from people, but this day, it was raining really hard out. I did not want to walk all the way to the bus stop. So I was like, you know what? What's the worst thing that could happen? I got in his car. So we're on the highway just shooting the breeze, chatting it up. At one point I make a comment where I say, "Oh, I'm kind of like SpongeBob, you know. I'm 20 years old. I should have my driver's license by now." Huh? He looks at me. He's like, "Oh, no, you all good, brother. I don't have my license neither." "You don't have what?" And he's like, no, chill. I just drive. Don't worry about it. I'm like, "Oh, no, I am a little bit worried, actually." I'm getting nervous. I look out the window. I look back at him, and now he's something. It looks like a vape pen. I'm like, "Oh, you," and he's like, "Oh, no, it's just
in the car?
You're smoking while you're driving." He's like, "Oh, well, it's laced with a little bit of Fenny, if you know what I mean." Fenny? No, I don't know what you mean. Who's Fenny? And he's like, "You know, it's that Mac Miller." Mac Miller? The rapper who you're smoking what he while you're driving me in your car? He's like, "Oh, no, bro, come down. You tripping. At this very moment, he swerves and almost crashes into a CVS. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw some dude. He's out to get me. He's in another gang." Another gang? Yeah, that implies the existence of a current gang that you reside in, does it not? This kid looks me dead in the eyes with a dumbfounded look on his face like I said something absurd and goes, "You live around here and you ain't never been in a gang before? How you think I got this car? From your mom or something?" I don't know. This is when the real direness of the situation starts to sink in, that I am sitting passenger seat in a car with a 16-year-old boy who is driving recklessly in a car he does not have a license or registration to be operating. At this point, I'm just trying to keep the peace so that I can arrive home in one piece. He gets a phone call and picks it up, and he says, "Hey, yo, hang on, man. I'll be there in just a moment. You gotta be patient with me." He says to me, "Hey, yo, B, I'll take you home in a minute, but I'm finna go pick up my boys first." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever you say, Chief." Mind you, I'm expecting like 16-year-olds, like his peers, to get in the back seat, right? Tell me why we roll up on two grown and at least they're late 20s. One has a suspicious back, and the other has a wad of cash in his hand. They get in the car. One of them's a black guy, one of them's a white guy. The white guy looks at me and he goes, "Hey, yo, Mitchell, who's this little white boy you got in the front seat?" I'm like, "Sir, who's this little..." First of all, I'm half Mexican. Secondly, who's this little white boy you're calling at 5 p.m. on